Hi, and welcome to Conversion Conversations. This is Cameron, and today I'm taking a look at Transformers Generations Legacy United Cyberverse Universe Windblade. And this is actually the fourth deluxe class Windblade mold we've gotten. It is interesting that she is Cyberverse. I feel like Windblade is a character design that hasn't changed since her inception, and I think she came out in, what, Thrilling 30, right? So that'd be like 2020, 2014. But yeah, we have her. She is her classic jet. And Windblade, you know, has a very special place in my heart. It was essentially the year that I rejoined the Transformers fandom. I remember the bot vote, the big let's create a character vote. I remember how excited I got. And yeah, I think she looks pretty dang great here. I love the paint we've gotten. It evokes that classic Windblade design, right? She's a jet. She's got VTOL engines up front, these turbines. They can rotate. That's a big thing for me. They are painted nicely, which is, I believe, only the second time that's happened. And it hasn't happened at retail, which is really interesting. So I really appreciate that. She's got a teeny tiny little cockpit with apparently two seats. So this is like a big jet version of Windblade. She's got some joints here, but it kind of evokes intake. So, she's got these VTOL fins, but then she's got two embedded engines back here. Her sword holds on as a flame effect, which is kind of neat. We do have some hands sticking out, but overall, this is one of the cleaner Windblade designs, and we have plenty to compare this to. First, here is our Thrilling 30 Windblade. So we can see here how things might have changed, how things have remained the same. The Thrilling 30 Windblade is really the only one that's gotten this painted cockpit piece. All the others I think have just been, regular, but there is how they look. And I think Cyberverse, the big thing is having some bright colors on it, which does help out a lot. And overall, I feel like this is a cleaner jet mode than this one, but that's how they look together. The next Windblade we got down the road was the RID2015 Windblade. I have mine in Fortress Maximus colors from the Titan's Return, Titan Hunters a little collector set. This is the only one I got from it. I bought it separate. But here's what I was talking about, where we have these things painted. These are just cast in a shimmery white plastic, but here they are painted. Here's how they look together. And I'd say these are the closer two of the designs that look, the closest together. But I do like, the differences we've got, even if we have a lot of similarities here. Put that one back. Then the same year we got the Titan's Return Windblade, and here at retail we didn't get any paint on these fans. We have a much larger cockpit, implying, I guess, a much smaller jet, but that is because this one can hold a Titan's Return Titan Master. But again, for me, all of the Windblades, right, it's hard to fit a robot mode in a jet this small. I'd say this is just generally one of the cleaner ones. I like all four of these designs. I had this idea that I was going to repaint this into Brave Maximus colors at some point and just have them all be different Titan repaints. I think that's what I'm going to try to do here. I had this when I first got it. I was like, that's what I'm going to do. And I might be missing a piece somewhere in my custom box. I think I'm going to do that with this one also. And I really should get around to starting that painting back up. But yeah, there are all the Windblades. And like I said, she might be the smallest, maybe tied for smallest with RID2015, but I like the design a lot. It is a design that hasn't changed much. She is pretty decently sized compared to her wave mates. Here we can kind of see the deluxe wave 1 together. And Windblade, fits right in there with the deluxe cars. Maybe a little on the small side, but not as small as Bumblebee. But I like, we've gotten 4 different universes. All of them are unique in their style and everything, but they do kind of seem cohesive together, and I appreciate that. I will say that I don't have any Cyberverse figures to compare this Windblade with. We'll get to, I have one, but I don't think there's a value in comparing alt mode. We'll do it when we get to bot mode, which is why we're going to get into transformation. To start, we're going to split the feet so that we can pop off this piece. Oh, and you know what? I didn't check. Hold on real quick. We can, of course, if we take that sword out, she does hold her, and I realize those are like two different color blast effects there, but she does hold effect pieces at these back exhaust points. All right, so with the sword out, we're going to come in and we are going to remove, this one already happened, but we're going to pop the hands off of these handles. She holds onto those handles to help hold everything together. The wings can disconnect. There's a little slot and a tab on the wing. With those pieces apart, you can kind of wiggle things loose, and the legs are going to accordion out. We're going to take this panel piece off, we're going to take the leg piece, and we're going to open it up all the way, and then things close up very nicely, and we can flip around this piece or flip it forward, you know, however you want to keep that piece. We're going to flip that back, and there we've got a nice foot and heel. Same thing here. Flip this piece down, flip the leg down, close things up all the way. You want to, it's a double joint that sometimes can be a little tight. You want to just make sure you collapse it all the way. Same thing on this side, flip, 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 and we've got a nice little foot. Then up front, we can see like we kind of have the robot mode done. With the arms out, that's all you needed to do there. The last thing is just the head. To reveal it, we're going to pop and separate out the nose cone. It flips into two pieces, not perfect halves, but two pieces. We can fold up the landing gear that she has, and we can take the whole section and we're going to flip the assembly behind her head. Then to collapse it down as small as possible, we are going to take each side section of the nose cone and flip them in, recollapsing things, and she gets a little backpack, more than a little backpack, but a backpack on her back. We can flip around her waist, and here is Windblade with her sword. And I'd say overall, once again, I like the Cyberverse design. To me, the definition of the Cyberverse design is like big old stomping feet, and she definitely has those. It's not like, it doesn't perfectly capture the Cyberverse look, because I feel like there's an art style to the faces. That this Windblade is a very nice head sculpt and paint job. That is lovely. But it looks like a G1 style. Like it's, you know, Cyberverse that's been altered to fit the aesthetic of the Legacy line. But again, this is one of those things where that Cyberverse paint scheme, those bright blues help pop out. We got some nice contrast on the legs. Everything just looks really nice. We can fold up the shoulder sections. They want to kind of separate out. There we go, if they don't do it automatically in transformation. And yeah, overall, she looks pretty good. Let's look at her next to some other Windblades. So, comparing her, we have the Thrilling 30 Windblade. And here, I think we can see most clearly just the improvements in design. It's things like, right, the Cyberverse design lends it to improvements. The fact that a Cyberverse aesthetic is big, like, shins and feet helps make this so much more stable than this. Her and her dainty little high heels is tough. Although, I mean, I still love, like, the painted face over here. You know, I gotta, like, tilt their heads up so you can see them. I think all in all, like, I really like this aesthetic compared to this one, and just kind of, you can see how fiddly this is. Although this Windblade did come with a sheath for her sword, which was neat. We're gonna push her all the way back so she can hang out back there. The Robots in Disguise Windblade also came with a sword sheath. Again, a nice bigger foot platform. You can see here that this isn't like a significant difference in size. There are differences in style. We have these like flatter armor pieces here versus these spikier pieces. Robots in Disguise in general was going for like a spikier aesthetic. So it's neat to see how those compare. And then we did have the Titan's Return Windblade. We can put her in the back here. Tilt our camera up a little bit. And let's see if we can get Thrilling 30 Windblade standing with the help of the wall. Ooh. So Windblade as a character has been around for almost a decade at this point. And while her like key identifiers haven't changed, the gimmicks and things have changed over the years, right? These two have the sheaths. These three have the removable headpiece. things like that. But aesthetically, I think this is my favorite one. It's nice to see the newest one being like the best one in that regard. We'll get rid of the Windblades and let's do some articulation. So Windblade is pretty posable. We've already seen her head and neck joint. It is on a ball joint and it likes to go up, you know, pretty far, so you can get her in a flying pose pretty decently. She does have shoulder rotation. It does run into her wings, which is unfortunate, but it gets you most of where you need to go. The shoulders can go up a little higher than 90, which is appreciated. There is bicep swivel. There's a 90-degree bend at the elbow. There is wrist swivel, which I appreciate. Waist swivel, which is nice. Can do the splits. Can kick up so high. Can kick back even further. Thigh swivel. A 90-degree, a little more than 90 if you want to like break that sculpt up. But it does break up. And then we do have ankle tilt and a little bit of toe tilt. And then the wings can obviously position wherever you might want them to be. So she's, you know, standard posability for a deluxe. Her with her sword, again, a minor complaint. I wish that the sword, the flame effect is kind of neat for her jet mode, but I would have preferred one of the other sword designs, like the, you know, the RID sword design, and just getting the sheath with it. I like the sheath idea. That's really, really neat. She does have a decent sized backpack, which is a little unfortunate, but I feel like it hides itself pretty well. Or you could kind of split things up and try and hide it even more along the wings like that. But it doesn't make it look any less prominent from the side profile. And yeah, I think she is a fun little deluxe, and she's not even that little. Here is Windblade next to my only Cyberverse Deluxe. I did forget to do this, so here she is next to Thunderhowl. There's how they look together, and again, this is where I talk about the aesthetics. Like these chunky legs is a big part of their aesthetic. Those like highlights of an alternate color is a big thing. I think they look great together. If we take Chase as the standard deluxe of the line, I mean, Windblade is about his height. So, you know, she's decently sized. It's a fun and simple and fast transformation, which I appreciate. She has one of her original 2 gimmicks. Come on. I guess 2. We'll count the spinning VTOL fans. That's 1. And then she has her little head fin piece, which she can hold as like a throwing weapon, like so. She doesn't have the sword sheath, but she is way more stable than the original Windblade. I think aesthetically she looks the best out of all of them. I do like the bursts of light blue that Cyberverse does. And yeah, it's an easy recommendation. These 2 out of Wave 1 are the 2 deluxes that I recommend getting. Bumblebee and Magnius, if you really want them, get them. But I think these 2 are the ones that are worth the $25. All right, that was a look at Windblade. Thanks everybody for watching. Catch you on the next one. Bye.